Haley Van Lith, TCU star. I think the 11th pick in the WNBA draft. She got drafted by the Chicago Sky. She used to be teammates with Angel Reese, who is the star. I wouldn't call her the best player on the Chicago Sky. She's the star of the Chicago Sky. People are gossiping that Van Lith wants nothing to do with playing with Angel Reese again. He transferred after 1 year at LSU and had a great season at TCU this past year. But let's watch Haley Van Lith. These are her public comments about playing with Angel Reese again.
Okay, good energy with Courtney Vandersloot. You can learn from her. You're paired back with Angel Reese. There's some good energy you can walk into in Chicago, right?
Oh, I love that energy. We're ready.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, I love that energy. You know, she had a chance to drop. Great. Angel and I are familiar with each other from LSU. This is going to be awesome. Just easy, natural comments to make. Van Lith has been very honest about her mental health struggles. You know, talked about she's contemplated suicide and she's cried on camera about how great things were at TCU. Anyway, Angel Reese tweeted out, "We ain't do it right the first time, let's run it back. We ain't do it right the first time, let's run it back." That, to me, is a little fuel on the fire. It's like, and I'll just say this, it's my understanding that every one of those teammates at LSU hated playing with Angel Reese. And I know some of you will think that's some bias on my part. I'm just telling you what I know. Anyway, your thoughts here on Angel Reese?
Well, first of all, that clip look was pretty awkward. That does not look like a girl that was excited to be selected where she was selected. And Jason, I think if I'm reading in between the lines, these two did not enjoy playing with each other the first time. So I don't know why either one of them would be excited to run it back. I think could there maybe, Jason, do I detect some potential jealousy maybe here between Angel Reese, who wants to be the central figure in every story that she's a part of, including the little feud, the beef between with her and Caitlin Clark? I feel like maybe Haley is she taking some shine possibly away?
I don't think Angel Reese would be jealous of Haley. I think Haley would be reluctant to re-engage with a narcissist who was on a WNBA team last year that instead of trying to win games and compete, you would see them at the end of games, hey, Angel needs to score 4 more points, and it'll take her about 7 to 8 to 10 shots to get there. And so they would shut down everything they do and feed the ball to Angel Reese at the end of the game so she could keep her double-double streak alive. And that fits with Angel Reese's overall character. It's about her. It's not about winning. And Haley Van Lith, just like, I think she's, even though they won and had some success, I don't think they won the title that year that Haley was on the team. But I think she's already experienced what's it like to play with Angel Reese, who is a narcissist and selfish, and my understanding, a nightmare for all teammates to deal with.
Can we just sprinkle in completely tone deaf as well? Just read the room here, possibly with Angel Reese. I'm sure you've discussed it and covered it, but her recent whining about equal pay, that she's underpaid. You see this obviously. She's only making $70,000 to jack up brick layups and airball layups somehow in games that no one wants to watch. Oh, poor me, I'm only making $70,000. Not mentioning the additional couple, probably million she's making in sponsorship and additional revenues allotted to her from playing in these games. Jason, I think she also pays $8,000 in rent. I don't know if you caught.
No. You've got old information. Angel Reese has bought a home.
You're right. That's breaking news today. I think.
She's bragging about buying a home. Here's a tweet she put out. They said she need to cover up, so I went and cover on Vogue. They said she can't afford her rent, so I went and bought a house. Thank you. So Angel Reese working on her Jasmine Crockett impersonation. This whole, and who knows, maybe she's not college educated. She's been to 2 universities, Maryland and LSU. You would think she would have learned something and know how to communicate proper English, but she's leaning into her Jasmine Crockett, and somehow hold on, let me go back and read that tweet again.
Jason, is there? I can't
know
see
who
the
they
monitor.
is.
How's the punctuation in there?
It's not good, but I'm trying to figure out who the they is.
That's
they
the critics.
said
Jason. That's you. That's me. The
she
critics.
need to cover up, so I went cover on Vogue.
I think I know where she's going here, because the critics maybe are talking about her over-sexualizing herself.
Yes.
So but now if you remember, she was also crying because
About being sexualized.
Correct, right. So it's just an enigma. It's just a big riddle to me.
And so she should have said, they said they need to cover up, but Shaq came on my show and he said, take your clothes off, and I can't comment on whether I did or didn't, but you do the math. She could have said that.
Probably not as eloquently as that. Then the punctuation wouldn't have been right. A couple non-words thrown in the mix as well, but.
As far as no one that I know, I don't know who these theys are that said she couldn't afford her rent. I think she was bragging about how much her rent was, and she said that the WNBA doesn't pay her enough to cover her rent.
Right.
So I don't think her pronouns are correct here.
Yeah, I mean, she's confused, Jason. I mean, obviously, there's a couple ain'ts in there. We ain't do it right, so we have to run it back. So, I mean, the pronouns are confused. The word usage, actually using proper grammar, just lost on Angel Reese, obviously.
They said we should act as ghetto as possible, and we need to create the impression that we're undereducated, uneducated idiots, and I'm doing my part with my Twitter feed. That's what you're proving, Angel Reese. I'm done with Angel Reese. Let me move on here. Rich Paul had some interesting things to say about the Miami Heat, and when LeBron James was there and the Big Three, I took these comments as like, whoa. Chris Bosh, thanks for all the sacrifice, but here we are 10, 12 years later, and we're going to take a dump on Chris Bosh. Let's play the Rich Paul clip. I think this is him talking with Pat McAfee. Play the clip.
That's not the end all be all. I always love a big 2. I don't really love a big 3. I don't really. People talk big 3, but the big 3 thing has never really worked. And you say, well, what happened in Miami? That wasn't really a big 3. There was 3 guys that went in the lottery, and they did really well individually on their team, so they put up big numbers and had big accomplishments. But when you think about it, Bosh was the ultimate professional. He took a back seat, and he played a role in which, because he had such a high IQ and he was such a professional as an individual, his approach to everything is what made that work. When you look in Boston, okay, you can say Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce was a big 3 again. Rondo. Thinking about names, but the way that offense was ran, Rondo's capability during that time, it was a lot different. When you've seen people go for that, it never really worked. And I've had this conversation with several different, owners of teams.
Direct shot at Chris Bosh here, who was an all-star. I believe every year he played with the Miami Heat, but it's not a big 3.